Hey, it's your guide of light to help you through the night. Just sharing intuitive messages that kind of come through songs, just actions, things going on. Like this morning, I was sitting and I was having my tea outside, and there's this strip of shade, right? It's early. It's probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. But I was sitting in the sun, and I thought, damn, it's hot. But we're in Texas, and it kind of feels like you're in the devil's oven before it even hits August. So I scooted back into the shade, and I just kind of let my feet sit there in the sun and still drinking my tea. And I thought, there are good things that come from the shadows, and we don't tend to realize there's a purpose in the light and the dark. Everyone always wants to be good vibes, feeling good all the time. That's not how life works. You don't want to be a flat line. You want to go with the flow, feel the heartbeat, right? There'd be no adventure if there wasn't a little bit of with a little bit of So my point was, you can find comfort, oddly, in the shadows. And a lot of times it's like when I get sensory overload, because there's just so much energy. And I'm sure you've seen me in some of my videos where one day I'm really inspiring and the next day I'm cutthroat, and it's all these different energies coming at me. I don't know who else feels that, but I know a lot of people are labeled with like emotional disorders. And it's because we go to practitioners that work on the physical realm, not the spiritual realm. So if we were to actually deal with people that worked on the spiritual realm, they would begin to teach us how to shield and block and return all these energies, right? Because you have the capability of doing this. But instead, like I said, we go to practitioners that work on the physical plane, and then they just give you medicine that blocks out everything and makes you feel foggy and kind of like a zombie. But anyways, back to what I was saying. When I get overloaded, I kind of step back into the shadows because I'm like, I can't take anymore. It's that extreme pressure, And I always have to tell myself, Cole deals with extreme pressure and something beautiful comes out of that. And that actually helps to keep me driving forward. And like I said, I'll take a momentary break. And it could be even like being in public and people are like, hey, and I'm like, no, that's my shadow side. I'm not sharing love and light with you. I don't care if you're having a bad day. I don't want to know about your life. I'm living my own life. And that is a way of protecting myself. Those are boundaries. Those are barriers that I put up. And that's okay. And it's okay for you to do this for yourself, Like I said, I'm just now realizing that there's benefits that come from that dark side. And when my sister moved in, she brought her doormat that you put like at the front door. And it's Darth Vader and it says, welcome to the dark side. So every time I go in the garage now, I see this and I'm like, all right. There's reality in that for me now. That I can see the dark side. I've been walking through it for so long. Like I just told somebody the other day, you go work on your patience like you said you are. I'm just going to keep walking through hell with a smile on my face, knowing I won't be here forever. Because we all have tumultuous times that come into our life, And it has more to do with societal standards than it does to do with our own emotional well-being. But it's the societal standards that start to drain us or make us feel like we're not worthy or not good enough to be a part of even our own lives, that we don't have any value. We're all the same. And that's not how life is. We each have our own potential. We each have our own capabilities. We are talented in our own right. So when it comes down to those societal standards, like school, for example, everyone's supposed to learn the same thing and everyone makes a different grade. And that's because people understand, learn on different levels. You have people that learn by listening. You have people that learn by hands-on. You have people that learn by both. You have some people that just can't learn it because it doesn't make sense to them. It has no need in their life. Therefore, they can't put themselves into learning that whatever they're being taught. But even Albert Einstein said if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's going to fail. So we have constraints placed on all of us from the get-go. And we're broken down all through school to say if we're good enough or not good enough. Oh, you didn't finish that, you're a failure. Whatever it is. So if you can step back, and it's funny, I'm asking you to step back into your shadow side and assess the world around you. See everything for what it is, because you can begin to protect yourself in a different way. Don't stay there too long. Like I said, it's somewhere I recess to when I feel overloaded. And in the sense of me saying your dark side, I'm not saying go out, do drugs, have a orgy, do all kinds of things that are going to possibly hurt you in the end. I'm just saying take a step back to where you keep people at arm's length. Because that is you pushing things away is that's more of the dark side. Because when you're more in the light and loving, it's like, oh, come here, I'll hug you, I'll comfort you, I'll tell you I love you, I'll guide you, I'll help you do what you need to do. And it's more open in the light. The dark is more guarded. And it's more shifty and fox-like, to where you do have to start planning. And it's not that you have to manipulate those around you, but like I said, plan. When you plan accordingly, then you can start taking those steps to further your life in a way that's beneficial to you, your family, everybody that you're surrounded with. Because overgiving is a negative trait. Not being able to say no is a negative trait. People pleasing, negative trait. And these are negative because they don't benefit your sole purpose. They don't benefit you. They actually will drain you. And for years, I have just allowed people to basically have an IV on me and just like, I'm just gonna keep going. And more people attaching to that because they're like, oh, she's a giver. Oh, she overgives. She doesn't ask for anything either. Oh, God. And she takes care of herself. Wow, I love this person. But then when it comes down to it, they start feeling inadequate. They start getting bitter. They start wanting to trip me up. They start wanting to challenge me. And it gets to where I'm like, I'm better on my own, thank you. I can do bad all by myself. And it just gets to a point where, like I said, I'll take a step back. And I don't go completely into the dark side. It's more so just sitting on the perimeters with the shadows to where I can still see that light, know that it's there. And it's kind of like a safe zone, a dead zone per se, that allows me to be able to think better, to ground myself, to level out my emotions. And I'm sharing this with you, so I'm hoping it makes sense to you because it could be beneficial for your life. I'm not saying this could apply to everybody. Nothing applies to everybody. But if you can begin to understand how you can work with the darkness, you can empower yourself because there has to be a balance. I can't live all my days in the sunshine. I'd wither up. Instead of being a grape, I'd be a raisin, right? So it has to be that equal balance. And like I said, when I was sitting outside, I had to move into that shade because I was like, man, it's going to be a hot day today. And now that my son finally mowed, I thought, I can get some sun again. Like I can just sit out there and chill and soak up the good vibes from the sunshine and the earth and reground myself. And I've been in that darker side for a minute because I've been frustrated. I've been overwhelmed. It's been a crazy, hectic week. I don't know if anybody else was feeling that, but my whole week kind of flew by at a snail's pace, if that makes sense. And it was full of chaos. And all the kids were just like Energizer bunnies. And I'm just like, chill out. Constant tattling, constant picking at one another, to where I had to keep reminding them, you are leaders and you don't have to like each other, but you have to respect each other. Like, you're all here. You're going to be here all summer together. Let's get past this picking and bullying each other and excluding individuals and making them feel like they're nothing, because that's not fair in life. And even when you are functioning in that dark side, you don't have to treat people as if they're a burden, but rather just step back and evaluate. That's what the darkness can be beneficial for, especially when you're evaluating yourself, the things that you need to work on. So instead of taking all of your vision, your hearing, everything like that, and finding flaws in everyone around you, focus it inward. Because I'll tell you, if you're finding flaws in everyone around you, these are things you need to focus on for yourself, because you're finding people that are a lot like you. We all have the same possibility to have the same quirks. Like, if you can't stand someone that smacks their gum and you don't chew gum, first time you put gum in your mouth, you might find you smack and you chew it like a cow. So don't sit here and let other people's things that they do annoy you. Instead, you've got to learn to start overlooking those situations and go, it's just who they are. Is that something that is going to bother? They don't chew gum 24/7, They're not going to bother me forever. But that was just a small example, of things that we can look at in other people and find within ourselves that we need to work on. And I've had a lot of people that I've met that are mirrors and trigger me. And then I sit there and go, I might not do that now, but I used to do that. So I learned the lesson and I've grown. And maybe I need to refocus and make sure that I've handled that situation 100% to where I'm not doing it anymore. Instead of, do I get in a point where I'm so comfortable that I don't acknowledge my own behavior. We're all here to help each other, whether we believe it or not. Now, you will find the people that are a hindrance to you, that don't benefit you. They're there to teach you to stand up for yourself. They're there to teach you to love yourself. They're there to teach you to pull back your power and have the courage to walk away. They're there to help you get back to you. Those are hard lessons to learn, because as you get back to you, a lot of people will fade away. And then you'll find yourself in what you feel like is a lonely experience. But once again, just know, keep a smile on your face as you walk through hell, because it won't last forever. You have the ability to choose. How do I want to go forward in life? Do I want to keep living in toxic patterns, cycles that make me feel miserable? Or do I want to finally break the chain and move forward? And you can. You just have to make the choice to do that. So just wanted to share that message with you. For whatever reason, I was thinking about light and dark. But sending you peace, love, and light. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.